Scott.
Yeah, it showed a great deal of mental toughness, obviously, from the guys in there. It reminded me a little bit of that Milwaukee game. You know, we were up. It looked like we were, once we got up 8, we just have to execute, get some stops, and see if we can come out of there in regulation with a win. We weren't able to do it. You have to credit them. They got to the free throw line, jammed us up on a couple possessions, and then just to put that all behind us and focus on the overtime, and we really defended, during that stretch. And obviously Jimmy was pretty darn good. At that point, they didn't have a ton of energy at that point. I already played 40 minutes, but it was like, all right, I'm just going to make sure we seal this, and that this doesn't get to a second overtime or even worse, a loss.
You have said tongue-in-cheek a few times that Jimmy is a very good basketball player. When he is able to impact games at this level, I mean, he hasn't had a triple-double in 2.5 years, but to be able to just be so impactful, how much easier does it make it for other guys?
Well, where it really helps you are games like this against a really a quality opponent on their home court. You face a little bit of stress and adversity. You know that you can just get the ball to somebody, and you're going to get something coherent. Somebody that likes those moments, and he has an ability to draw fouls, score off the dribble, at the rim, pull-ups, so he can manufacture his own shot at the end of the clock against virtually anybody, and he can also set up other guys. He's very unselfish, and that's what he's been doing all year for us. He's basically been our point guard and getting other guys involved, and then when it's closing time, he just makes whatever play is needed.
How pleasing is it that you get the pure next man up mentality with Goran out? The production that you got from Kelly and Justice were so critical.
Yeah, and Derek. Derek gave us some good moments too. Look, you're playing against a team that's really fast, uniquely long, fast. They're really good off the dribble. We wanted to get our better defenders out there, guys that can really handle some of those one-on-one matchups. And Justice and Bam really took on the toughest of the challenges, guarding Van Fleet, Siakam, and Lowry, somehow working that all out. And they did it, for 2 games in a row. And then Derek and his moments, really helped with that as well.
Before tonight, there were 9 players who recorded a triple-double in Heat history. Tonight, there were 10. Did you sort of see Jimmy as a walking triple-double, that it was only a matter of time with his entire skill set and the way he's been facilitating that this was a logical result?
I can't say that I definitively knew that during the summer when we signed him, but after doing a bunch of research, on him and watching him play and how our roster was put together, that he would have the ball in his hands like a point guard a little bit more, or a point forward, point guard, whatever, however you want to describe it, and he would have opportunities to play make a little bit more. He's had that ability. He's been coached well during the course of his career. For us, he needs to make more plays, and that's allowing other guys to step up. And you saw it tonight with Duncan. A lot of open shots, and a lot of those were Jimmy creating the action. And K-Nun's obviously, and Tyler have been a beneficiary of Jimmy's all-star talent. He makes you have to bring a second defender.
How big was Duncan as far as just to create that space with his shooting, and also the fact that he can play those minutes, his growth as a complete player?
Yeah, well, he's becoming a complete basketball player where he can affect winning on both ends of the court. But now his confidence is really starting to soar. He's one of the best shooters in this game. It just takes a little bit of you seeing yourself doing it over and over, and your team wanting you to do it. These are a high degree of difficulty shots that he's taking and making, but we've seen him do that for a long period of time. It just took him a little bit of time for his esteem to match his talent. And hopefully, watch out. Hopefully it continues to grow, because the team wants him to play like that, really be assertive, looking for a shot.
Erik, a week ago, Bam opens defensively on Russell Westbrook. 1 week later, he opens defensively on Pascal Siakam. His defensive versatility, the menu you talk about defensively, how important is that you can target someone and say, Bam, go get him?
Yeah, it really helps, because you're talking about a great player on the other end. If you don't have the right kind of players that can physically and mentally match up against that kind of talent, you're just going to get totally worked over. Bam likes all these kind of challenges night to night, and guarding different positions and stepping up for his team. He just has incredible defensive versatility, and we won't talk about any of those awards or anything. He's just proven it every night.
You mentioned some echoes of that Milwaukee game. The first team to win in that building, now the first team to win in this building. What, if anything, can you draw from wins like that?
Just how dang hard it is. The guys are exhausted in there. Ice is, they earned their ice. That's a really good team that we just played. They've been playing great basketball, and it took all of that just to come out of here with an overtime win. It's not easy, and that has to be the brand of basketball that we have to embrace. Held them under 40%, kept our turnovers down, and made it tough. And then you live with the result.